They really did put us through our paces. Whew.
Welcome to WatchMojo UK, and today we're looking at dark and disturbing Blue Peter facts and anecdotes that you may not be aware of.
Where did badges come from? That's what we're going to find out.
Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos.
Number 10. Biddy Baxter.
But down at the end of the line is the most important person. This is Biddy Baxter. Turn face your public.
She wasn't on the show from the beginning, but took over as the editor in 1962, turning Blue Peter into the iconic institution it became. But things weren't all sunshine and roses behind the scenes with Biddy Baxter. She ruled Blue Peter with an iron fist, and some people felt that fist come down harder than others.
In 1981, Biddy was honoured by the Queen when she became an MBE.
Yvette Fielding, for instance, who became the show's youngest presenter aged just 18, said that she was repeatedly targeted by Baxter, to the extent that she resigned after a year. She was persuaded by Baxter herself to stay on, but maybe wouldn't have lasted so long if Baxter herself hadn't retired months later. She was ruthless.
But after so long, what's it like to sit up here in front of the cameras?
It's terrifying.
It is. Now you know how we feel.
I think you do a marvellous job. I wouldn't have your job for anything in the world.
Number 9. Royal Marines Parachute Regiment.
Livingston Station is only used by Royal Marines, and it is no exaggeration to say that it's the gateway into a different world.
One of the hardest challenges ever set on Blue Peter landed in the laps of Matt Baker and Simon Thomas, when they were sent to go through Royal Marines Parachute Regiment selection. This wouldn't be the first nor last time Blue Peter had done something like this. John Noakes underwent a 5-mile free fall along with a training RAF squadron, while afterwards Connie Hook and Liz Barker learned to be Royal Marines Navy commandos.
What do you think?
Well, we're here. We're certainly dressed for the part.
Might as well give it a go.
But there were additional challenges with the Parachute Regiment. Barker and Thomas were asked to fight each other as part of an aggression test, despite director Alex Leger saying he disapproved. In his words, they beat the hell out of each other.
You've got a bit of mud behind your ear there, mate. You got someone on your nose.
Number 8. Dangerous stunts.
And there should be somebody else coming down. Yes, he's coming in on my left. He's in.
While John Noakes did get training before his free fall, he wasn't so lucky when it came to the most vertigo-inducing stunt he ever did, climbing Nelson's column to clean it. The crew headed down there, and Noakes climbed all the way up on ladders without any safety equipment. Worse, he had to do it twice because of a malfunction with the sound.
I found myself literally hanging from the ladder with nothing at all beneath me.
But what's most chilling about this isn't just that, had anything gone wrong, Noakes absolutely wouldn't have survived the fall, but that he was offered a safety line, and for some reason refused, both times. We're not exactly sure what message this sent to Britain's children, but hopefully it wasn't that they should scale tall buildings with no equipment.
Oh, you just lower yourselves over?
Yeah, you just sit in the bosun's chair and you lower yourself over.
Number 7. The rouse about Shep. Many of the Blue Peter pets, including Shep, the border collie, ended up living with the presenters because it was the easiest way to look after them. Shep was John Noakes' dog, though part of the reason he was so willing to look after him was because Noakes was given money by the BBC for his upkeep.
Would you care to dance, Shep?
After Noakes left the programme, they left Shep with him, but withdrew the money, leading to many heated arguments between Noakes and Biddy Baxter. It was Baxter's call, of course, that Shep's stipend be withdrawn.
Come on, Shep! Come on, boy! Come on, Shep! Come on! Learn to play the spoons and lose a few fingers.
Noakes was so angry that he was never on good terms with Baxter again, and he actually gave up Shep, who lived with someone else for the rest of his life.
How about the double act with you and my dog Shep?
Not bad at all, not bad at all.
Number 6. time capsules ruined.
It was 29 years ago on Monday the 7th of June 1971 that the presenters of the time, Valerie Singleton, John Noakes and Peter Purvis, went out of the studio to plant our tree and bury our first box for the year 2000.
There aren't that many Blue Peter time capsules, and it's possible that you passed an entire childhood watching without getting to see them bury or open one. But maybe that's for the best, as quite a lot of them haven't worked out well. The very first time capsule, from 1971, had actually been dug up and reburied twice, including at one point opened and having its contents rewrapped.
And the good news is that thanks to lots of help, we've managed to save much of the material from both boxes.
This didn't stop it from incurring water damage though. Another was opened in 2022 with most of its treasures rotted away. The third got water damage as well.
Now, our time capsule that's buried underneath the Millennium Dome was put together by Blue Peter viewers, and it's things that they loved in the 20th century that they thought children in the 21st might like to see.
Two of the currently waiting time capsules are now not buried at all, both being stored at the National Archives to try and preserve them properly. Number 5. Ken Livingston.
But first, before all that, sit back and be amazed by these cunning stunts and wizard wheelies.
The BBC found itself in the centre of a very strange political scandal they'd probably rather we forget in 2007, when Connie Hook valiantly declared her allegiance to the Labour Party. Well, no, that's not actually what happened, but from the way the Tories went on about it, you'd think it was.
I think that the Labour Party's barrister and lawyer were most probably saying to them, look, if you expel Ken Livingston, he goes for judicial review.
The true story was that Hook appeared alongside Labour Mayor of London, Ken Livingston, to talk publicly about the benefits of cycling. Presumably, she thought that cycling wasn't a partisan issue, regardless of Livingston also being there, but that wasn't the case.
The KMX is a tricycle, a go-kart and a BMX, all in one, and it's got good brakes too.
The BBC had also already refused to let her appear, though they apparently didn't bother to tell her this. The real dark truth here is the sheer incompetency. Number 4. Michael Sundons' departure.
Hello, and if you're interested in amazing happenings in space, something that's really out of this world, well, Janet will be reporting on a quite remarkable story in a moment.
In 1985, presenter Michael Sundon, who'd only joined the show the previous year, left after his contract wasn't renewed. But there's a lot of information and misinformation about exactly why this happened.
First though, a journey back in time to the land of Oz.
It was speculated for years that Sundon was dropped for being gay, which had been reported by the tabloids during his tenure. Sundon was outraged, but years later, Biddy Baxter claimed that the reason he'd been dropped was because children just didn't like him.
Unlike other birds, Donald Duck enjoys the snow, and in one of his films he goes sledging, and it's with disastrous results.
But she also claimed that it was for being a, quote, effeminate whinger, end quote. He tragically passed away of AIDS complications in 1989, aged just 28. Number 3. Dog switcheroo.
And with her candle-lit cake and all her cards and presents here in the studio, Petra really is having a memorable 12th birthday.
You likely know this one already, but that doesn't stop it from being a dark and uncomfortable secret kept by the show from the public for decades. The original puppy intended to be Petra, the first ever Blue Peter pet, actually died of distemper, and Biddy Baxter went out to find a look-alike puppy. Baxter said that nobody noticed the puppies had been swapped, which wasn't particularly surprising, and Petra went on to work on the show for 15 years.
Well, I think she looks in splendid condition, considering she's 12 years old now. Yeah, in fact, it's hard to imagine looking at her that she is such a very old lady.
Baxter talked about it in her book, finally revealing the trick, though if she hadn't, we probably never would have known. In any case, Petra remained popular with viewers and still has a bust in the Blue Peter garden to this day. Number 2. Rigged phone-ins.
Even children's favourite Blue Peter admits to faking a winner.
You absolutely.
This was the first time the BBC got landed with fines from Ofcom, back in the early days of the regulator after its launch in 2003. Just about every channel got fined for some reason or another, but the Beeb was fined over Blue Peter after faking a premium rate phone-in competition.
Says that a series of persistent computer problems over several years meant viewers' money was collected, but their votes were lost.
It was explained away as being part of a technical fault that wasn't fixable at the time, and that was true. But rather than lead to controllers calling off the competition, they had a visitor pretend to be an outside caller and claim the prize. From this point on, there were no premium phone contests on Blue Peter, and the BBC had to sump up £50,000.
Tomorrow, all of the terrestrial broadcasters will meet with the regulator to discuss change. The message is clear. Viewers deserve better.
Number 1. Badge Black Market.
In 2024, nearly 100,000 BP fans contacted the show, and our dedicated team sent out the badges.
In 2006, it became known that there was a vibrant trade in fake Blue Peter badges on eBay. Never before had the programme had to deal with fraudulent badges like this, and for a while, nobody knew what to do. The coveted badge isn't just a sentimental childhood treasure. It gives holders free admission to a lot of top attractions in the UK, and those attractions were losing money to these scammers.
This factory produces all of our colourful collectibles using state-of-the-art technology.
Because of it, the BBC now has to issue certificates of authenticity with the badges, which seems to have solved the problem. You can still buy Blue Peter badges on websites like eBay, but they don't come with all the benefits of a genuine badge, including the sense of achievement.
First, the badges get designed on a computer program, and from that, a metallic mold is created. These ensure the badges will have the iconic BP shape.
Let us know in the comments if you know any disturbing Blue Peter secrets.
Because using the badge, you could apply for one of these, a BP Badge ID card, which gets you into over 200 attractions across the UK for free.